Okay, so in this video in linear programming, we've moved beyond the idea of drawing straight lines. We're now going to start looking at inequations. So for an inequation, I must have either a less than, a greater than or equal to, a less than or equal to, or a greater than. So I've got some of these, but that means any that are a less than or a greater than, when I draw the line, I've got to make sure that my line is dashed, because that shows that the values on the line aren't possible. If I've got a line that's a greater than or equal to or less than or equal to, then my line can be a solid line. So if it's a less than or greater than, it's a dashed line. If it includes the equals to as well, it can be a solid line. The other thing that I've got to be aware of when I'm doing these kinds of lines is I have to remember that I want to shade out rather than shading in. And what I mean is, when I come to do this line of y is smaller than x, when I come to work those out, I want to actually shade out all the times when y is bigger than x, so that the space in the middle will just be white. And that's what I'm after. I'm after this little space in the middle. So I'm going to start by drawing these graphs, and I've got to work out. So my first one I'm going to do is y is greater than or equal to 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the line at y equals 1. And because it's got to be greater than or equal to 1, I'm going to shade out any value that is smaller than or equal to 1. And just because I'm like this, I'm going to identify that, oh, that didn't work so well. Where's my eraser? I'm going to identify that that was the graph that I did in the blue. So I'm going to change my color, and I'm going to do my next line. Now my next easiest line is y is smaller than x. So first off, I'm going to draw that graph like it's a y equals x graph. So I know if y equals x, that's 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8. So I know I've got that line going up, but I can see that this has to be a dash line. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to put a dash through. And now comes the bit that matters. So some people find it really challenging with the inequalities about which side you shade. This is saying x is greater than y. So if I pick any point, is 2 greater than 4? No, it is not. So that is not inside the bit that I want. But remember, we're shading out the bit we don't want, so it is inside the bit I don't want. So I'm going to shade in all of this bit up here. So that is my orange line. So let's do green. Now when I come to do my green line, I've got x plus y is greater than or equal to 6. So if I make x equal 0, then I get 3y equals 6, so y equals 2. X is 0, y is 2. And if y is 0, I get x equals 6. So that's my point down there. So my line would be a straight line going between those 2 points. Now I want it to be greater than 6. So if I pick a point, I'm going to pick 3 and 2. So I've got 3 plus 3 lots of 2 is equal to 9. 9 is bigger than 6, so that is in the bit that I want. So I've got to shade out the bit I don't want. So that's that point. And now I'm to my last inequation. So let's have a color for that one. So I've got x plus y is less than 5. I don't need to go through this step because I know it's going to go through 5 and 5. It's a solid line because it's a less than or equal to. Now I need it to be less than 5. So I'm going to pick another point. Notice how I'm not picking points on the line because they can sometimes make it more confusing. So I've got 4, 3. So 4 plus 3 equals 7. 7 is greater than 5. So actually I need to shade that out because I need it to be inside. So if you notice, this little bit here is the bit that I wanted to find. And in linear programming terms, we call that the feasible region. However, for the purpose of what we're doing today, that is me shading out to find inequations. Okay, I hope you followed that. If not, drop me an email or message me through Google Classroom and we'll talk again. Okay, nearly there with this opening stuff. Next video will be about profit and loss and finding coordinates, and then we're ready to actually start doing some proper ones of these. Have a good rest of your day.